My apology for the delay, because there is a problem with the network here or connection. So I'm unable to open my video at the moment, but I'm sure within a minute I'll be able to do so. Honorable members, you're welcome to the meeting. I'll be able As we all know that today's meeting is honorable members asked to welcome to the meeting. I'll be able to legacy report, which afterwards we should be able to say, then we will defer it for debate for the next session, that is next year. So the administration would help us, firstly, with the roll call, and then secondly, with the presentation of the legal report. Oh, it's me who is muted. I'm talking to myself. My apology again. I was saying that let's proceed with the roll call, Zolan. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Acting Chair.
Yes, but it looks like Zolan is locked somewhere. He's not part of the meeting.
No, he is. It's just he's muted.
Can you unmute yourself, Zolan? Can somebody from the
Chair
help Zolan? Yes, Honorable Honorable Bagran.
Michael Bagran. Sorry,
Yes.
Chair, just while we're waiting for Zolani to unmute himself, could we also just note that we've had a terrible, tragic accident at Impala Platinum, and
Yes.
there are
Yes.
11 workers died and about 75 are injured and in hospital. Can we have a moment's silence for them?
Okay, thanks. I don't think we'll have a problem with that. But in the meantime, Zolani, if you can't communicate or you have a problem, then designate somebody from the administration to help us move forward. Honorable members, I don't think we have a problem with the proposal of Honorable Begram, which in any event we're going also to do it as a closing part. The only difference is that proposing that we start with it. Do you agree, members?
Progressive, Chair.
Yes,
Thanks,
Chair, we
Honorable.
agree.
Thanks, honorable members. Can we have the moment of silence then? Thanks, honorable members. May their souls rest in peace, and may their families be comforted in knowing that all of us, particularly as legislators, who deal with the responsibility of overseeing and the holding accountable those who are in fact in charge of those areas, particularly the issue of health and safety at work, which is our responsibility. We hope that Honorable Minister at the appropriate time will brief the committee on the progress with regard to investigations and steps taken. We also extend our good wishes for speedy recovery for those who have been injured. I know that About 10 of them are seriously injured, but we hope all of them will recover and be back with their families and be able, most importantly, be able to resume their duties. Thanks, honorable members, for your cooperation and support. Thanks, Honorable Begram, for proposing that we start with the item. Honorable members, can we go back to the item again of the roll call? If Zolani, you are ready now. Zolani does not respond. Mr. Mukwena. Mr. Mukwena.
Hi, Chair.
Can one of you help us with the roll call?
Okay, Chair. Thank you. Since Solana is having technical problems, I see the people that are present here. It's you, Honorable Chair Nonzele, and Honorable Dana, Honorable Makamo, Honorable Makondo, Honorable Breakram, Honorable Cardo, and and Honorable Travis. And for the staff who's present is Dolelwa Bandisa and Poshia, and content advisor Mr. Ngobo. And we do have people from PMG whose name is Julius Makamo that are present. Oh, and we also have Honorable Mdabi. I see the name is written as Mdabi. Yes. Thank you, Chair. That's all.
Yes. Yes, we have also Honorable Ligoff from the DA and from your staff member, Ms. Kolelwa Mabindis. Thanks, Mr. Mukwena. Can we then proceed to our only item, honorable members? The content advisor would help us to do the presentation, or is it to Tebo or Mr. Ngobo?
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Ngobo will take us through the report, Chair.
Okay. The platform is yours, Mr. Ngobo. Mr. Ngobo, are you with us? Why are these connections today giving us problems? Mr. Ngobo, your mic is okay. You can proceed, Mr. Ngobo.
Honorable Chairperson, I don't know whether you're looking at the right Ngobo. It's me, the Honorable Ngobo.
I'm looking for the content advice, and I don't seem to get him.
No, Sihlalo ubuka umkhulu wami loyo.
It doesn't seem to be on the platform. Kolelwa, can you help us?
Good morning, Chairperson. I'm trying to locate the content advisor because I don't see him on the platform. Oh,
now he's on the platform. That's from the sending home.
He's back now.
Yeah. Mr. Obo, please. Can you proceed with the presentation of the legacy report? Please take us through.
Good morning. Good morning, Chairperson, and the honorable members and the colleagues. My apology. You are in a load shedding where I am. Just started now at 10. So I can't access the report that I need to do the presentation on. So I was going to ask.
Sorry, Mr. Ngobo.
Hello.
Mr. Ngobo.
Sorry.
Mr. Ngobo, can you just hold on? You've got your colleagues on the platform. You should have organized this so that one of your colleagues help to flight the report. It's not the right way of dealing with this matter here. So can you quickly do that? We can't even advise you on issues of lack of a better word, common sense. We can't do that. Please treat us with respect. Can you do that quickly? You can proceed. That's the report, Mr.
Mr. Sagas, okay, you can scroll down. Okay, hold it there. Honorable members, this is the legacy report, which is a draft. And as the chairperson already mentioned, it is for noting at this meeting, it is work in progress. That is, we're going to be updating it as we go along. So the way in which we drafted the report is that we received a template from the committee section, and then we have to populate the template. So in summary, we have key highlights, which is paragraph 1, that is committee focus areas during the 6th Parliament, which is the current Parliament. Mr. Sagasa?
It's gone. It's not on the screen. Yeah, it's not on the screen. Who's helping you with the presentation?
Mr. Sagasa?
No, Mr. Sagasa is unable even to speak.
Yes, I'm able now, Chair.
Okay.
They've spotted me at IT.
Okay. Can you please
let me try and get that.
Reshare the screen, please.
Okay, Chair. Sorry for that. I'm trying to get the. Just give me a second. I don't know what's happening now. Where is this? Yes. I don't know what's happening.
Is there no one amongst you, Mr. Sagasa?
Yes, yes, I think I'm getting there. Just give me a
Mr. Sagasa, can you please give me sharing rights, please, so that I can share the report in the meantime?
Okay, let me do that. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's possible.
Okay, make host. Okay, Portia, you can go ahead.
Down to the next page. Okay, thank you. So I was on paragraph 1, honorable members. Portia, can you please go down a bit? Yes, committee focus areas during the 6th Parliament.
Portia, no. Go back, Portia, please. From one problem, go to another problem. Go to page 1. Yeah.
Yes, paragraph 1.
No. Mr. Dabeni, can't you hold this on where exactly the presentation is supposed to be? Because now the whole presentation now is being compromised. Yeah, hold it there. Hold it there. Don't move further. Mr. Ngobo, proceed.
Thank you, honorable members. The committee focus areas during the 6th Parliament are as follows. The committee's oversight and legislative work focus on the following areas during the 6th Parliament. In March 2020, the oversight work of the committee focused on the operations at the Compensation Fund head office in Pretoria. And then also in 2020, the committee visited an accident disaster site that was at ArcelorMittal plant in Vereeniging. And then in 2021, the legislative function of the committee focused on processing the COIDA Amendment Bill as well as the EE Amendment Bill. In 2021, the oversight of the committee focused on the operations at labor centers and supported employment enterprises in the Eastern Cape. That's Gqeberha, Eqonce, and East London. In 2022, the committee undertook jointly with the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Land Reform, and Rural Development and oversight visits to farming industries in all provinces to monitor living and working conditions in the farming sector. In April 2023, the committee undertook a study tour to Kenya with an aim of benchmarking immigration policies and control over movement of migrants. Paragraph 2, the key challenges that emerged
Mr. Ngobo, we seem to really be having a problem. Honorable members, let's apologize for this inconvenience. But what is happening now, Mr. Ngobo?
Good morning, Chairperson. I would like Mr. Sakasa to give me sharing rights again. I lost my connection and I lost my sharing rights as well.
But is Mr. Mkwena not the person who is in the right position? Because you are still going to have the same problem if you have network problems. Can't we get somebody who is not
Okay, Chair, let me give
facing
Mr. Mkwena right.
Yeah. Because Ms. Ndabeni, honestly, you again have the problem if you have network problems. Thanks, Mr. Mkwena. Sorry again, honorable members. You can proceed, Mr. Ngo.
Thank you, Chairperson. The key challenges that emerged during the sixth parliament are as follows. Firstly, the committee noted that labor centers and supported employment enterprises need to be capacitated to serve the communities. Secondly, some of the foreign nationals working on farms did not have the necessary documents required of immigrant workers. Thirdly, the committee identified challenges of compliance to Health and Safety Act as well as employment equity targets in the farming industry countrywide. And then lastly, or fourthly, in most farms visited, the committee found that most farm workers were not aware of their workers' rights and are therefore susceptible to exploitation. This problem is compounded by the physical nature of working farms. Then some of the key areas for future work, that is the seventh parliament should focus on the following, that is addressing challenges identified in the previous paragraph, and then conducting oversight in labor center sixth parliament. And honorable members, I must point out that these areas of future work are not conclusive. We still have to add more as we go along. And then paragraph 4 is on the recommendations. And then the recommendations are as follows: that the seventh parliament monitors the implementation of the amended legislation. Secondly, that the committee should ensure that the department roll out its advocacy campaign to make vulnerable workers aware of their labor rights. Thirdly, that the seventh parliament should advocate for additional funding of the CCMA to enable it to fulfill its mandate in terms of the amended labor laws. Fourthly, the seventh parliament should ensure that the inspections and enforcement services program of the department is adequately resourced to monitor compliance to labor legislation. And then coming to the body of the report itself, point 1, paragraph 1 is introduction, and under introduction, we have the department and entities falling within the Labor Committee's portfolio. And then can we please, okay. Then 1.2 were functions of the Portfolio Committee on Employment and Labor. And then 1.2.1 is the general powers of committees. The general powers of committees is derived from the rules of the National Assembly. And then after that, you can go down, Mr. Mokoena. We have the method of work of the Portfolio Committee on Labor, and then the purpose of this report. Second paragraph is key statistics. The meetings so far we had in 2023-24, we had 17 committee meetings, but we are still going to have more since we'll be meeting in the first term next year. And in 22-23, we had 26 meetings. In the year 21-22, we had 25. In the year 2020-21, we have 32. In the year 2019-2020, we only had 16 meetings, which was as a result of the lockdown that we had when the COVID-19 started. And then the legislations that were processed were two legislations. I think that was COITA and EEA amendments. And then the oversight trips, there was one in 2020-21, one in 2021-22, and then in 22-23 we had 10. That was joined with the Committee on Land and Agriculture. And then the study tours undertaken, we had undertaken one study tour that was to Kenya. International agreements that were processed was only one. And then we can go down, Mr. Mokoena. And then paragraph 5 is dealing with legislation, the pieces of legislation that were referred to the committee and processed during the 6th Parliament. In 2020-21, it was a COITA amendment bill, which is a section 75 bill, and that has been completed. And then also in 2020-21, we had the Employment Equity Amendment Bill, which is also a section 75 bill, and it has also been completed. Those were the only two pieces of legislation that we had. The challenges that emerged from dealing with those pieces of legislation was that the regulations with regard to the Employment Equity Amendment Act had not been finalized due to extensive consultations required. Issues for follow-up, the 7th Parliament should consider following up on the following concerns that arose. Monitoring of new regulations being established with regards to Employment Equity Amendment Act. And then paragraph 6 deals with the oversight trips that were undertaken. The trip to the oversight to the Compensation Fund headquarters was on the 13th of March. And then there were recommendations made, which was that the minister should ensure that the Compensation Fund head office is capacitated and provided with adequate support tools of trade and security. The report has since been adopted. The second oversight was on the 26th of April 2021, which was at ArcelorMittal, and that report has also been adopted. Thirdly was the oversight to labor centers in Gqeberha and Eqonga. That report has also since been adopted. And then lastly was the joint oversight with the Committee on Land, Agriculture and Rural Development to the farming industry. And then that report also has been adopted. And then the challenges that emerged was that there was difficulty in accessing some farms and factories. And then the issues for follow-up was that the seventh Parliament should consider following up on the concerns that arose, which is security services should be provided for members when going on oversight visits. And there was only one study tour that was undertaken to Kenya, and the study tour report was also adopted. We didn't have any statutory appointments in the sixth Parliament. Can we go to paragraph 11, please? Petitions. The committee received a petition from Solidarity and Cape Forum calling on the Assembly to investigate the reassessment of the legality, rationality, and desirability of the EE regulations. The committee is still dealing with its petition. The committee had written a letter to the Speaker in response to the petition. And the report is being drafted to be ETC'd. And then paragraph 12 is we have obligations conferred on committees by legislation. The Money Bills Amendment Procedure and Related Matters Act number 9 of 2009 confers obligations to the Committee of Parliament to compile the BRRR. In compliance with this obligation, the BRRR were adopted annually by the committee during its tenure, or the BRRRs were adopted during this tenure 2019-20 to 23-24. The committee recommended that the minister take steps to ensure that the vacant posts within the employment and labor portfolio are filled with suitably qualified persons without delay, priority being given to critical posts. I'm not going to go through all the recommendations that were made in the BRRR. It has already been adopted and it was debated yesterday. Summary of outstanding issues relating to the department and entities that the committee has been grappling with. Regarding DEL, UIF, and Productivity SA, an alternative funding model for Productivity SA, DEL has to facilitate open communication lines that include UIF and CF. That is to ensure that there is a single source funding model for Productivity SA. And then also DEL and the CCMA additional funding for the CCMA to enable it to fulfill its mandate with regard to amended labor legislation. And thirdly, capacitation of IES program with regard to suitably qualified personnel and relevant tools of trade. And then there were no other matters referred to the committee by the speaker. And then the recommendations, the committee, we must still draft the recommendations and the members may add to the recommendations. But the relevant official from the Department of Home Affairs should accompany the member of the Parliament when conducting oversight visit to the farming sectors. This point being that usually we find that when we visit the farms, there are foreign nationals that are employed in farms, some of them illegally. So that's why we need to have Home Affairs officials when doing oversight visit to farms. I think I'm going to end there, honorable members, because the next paragraphs are the financial statements of the committee, and those we must get from the finance section of Parliament. Thank you, honorable members.
Thanks, Mr. Ngobo. I'll say Mr. Ngobo the junior, because there's Honorable Ngobo, the senior in the platform as well, who's a member of the committee. Thanks for the presentation. And the honorable members, unless there is a point of clarity, because the report is just for noting, will allow if there are points of clarity. Can do that.
Honorable Chair.
Honorable Bagram first, and who else? It's only you, Honorable Bagram.
Thank you.
Oh, followed by Honorable Mkondo.
May I go ahead, Chair?
And the last one will be Honorable Mdabe. You can proceed, Honorable Bagram.
Thank you very much. I understand that there's just points of clarity, but I'm reading the legacy report and I'm noticing that it somehow doesn't have an overview of some of the good news and some of the bad news. And I'm not sure if I don't know who drew up the legacy report, but the authors of the legacy report should take into account some of the big issues in the overview. For instance, the world. We have the second lowest productivity in the world. We had a resignation of a DG and the resignation of a commissioner. Two entities didn't perform at all. We've got some good news in that the CCMA has been able to keep labor peace. They've reached 75% settlement of all disputes. They have entered into strikes in South Africa and settled them very quickly. And also the CCMA has been recognized as the leading dispute regulation entity in the world. And then NEDLAC has made some big strides in looking at negative legislation. So NEDLAC also needs to be commended. So I'm not sure why we don't actually look at an overview when you're doing a legacy report. 5 billion rand investment issue. As part of the legacy, we must look at the good things and the bad things, but also look at an overview. Just my little opinion. Thank you.
Thanks, Honorable Bagram. Honorable Mkondo.
Thanks, Chair. Good morning to you, Acting Chair, honorable members, and the staff. And if we have guests, good morning to them, Chair. Chair, we in the recommendations, I think the general recommendations, we have been talking about this as the committee for quite a long time. The issue of departments to support the SEEs in terms of putting them as a priority in terms of procuring goods that are being manufactured by the SEEs. I think it should be part of the recommendations. And the fact that the call centers must always be fully capacitated when it comes to a human resource, so that they are able to be responsive. The last one, Chair, is the issue of the office space at local municipalities by the CCMA. I think it has to be pushed further, because we realized as a committee that CCMA is only found in big cities. Is not readily available for people in the peri-urban and rural areas. So we once recommended that there should be office spaces that is sought from local municipalities, so that even people at the peripheries of the country the offices are accessible to them. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Honorable. Thanks, Honorable Mkondo. Honorable Mdabe.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning to you and the honorable members present, the staff and all other guests that are with us in the meeting. Chair, firstly, I think on the issue of the key highlights and the committee's focus areas during the 6th Parliament, I think there, the first point that has to be put up there is the issue of strategy, 5-year strategy plan that we were presented with, that would have then informed the work that we would be doing for the rest of the term. So that 5-year strategic plan has to be put there so that it gives a chronological and sequential understanding of what is it that we were supposed to do. Therefore, then the focus area, the committee focus areas would have to follow, so that they would then align what the strategy is, so that when we perform our work, the work is on the basis of the strategy that was adopted. That's the first part. Then the issue of the functionality of the department as well as its entities would have to be what Honorable Breakram was alluding to in terms of the good and the bad. And what was it that we have then oversighted on those bases, which would then form part of the recommendations. That these are the recommendations based on our BRRR reports for the 5 years. And therefore then, out of that, we will then sift out what is still outstanding on the basis of those recommendations that we made. So that then the report becomes a complete report in terms of what is it, therefore, we are saying to the 7th administration should focus on the basis of outstanding matters that we were supposed to do. I think, as we are saying, this is a first draft. If therefore then the report can be beefed up so that we can have a second bite and look at then the finality in terms of what is it that we will be presenting to Parliament. Among other things, it's the issue of CCMA, as Honorable Bekram was saying, that CCMA has been able to preserve jobs on the basis of their functionality and the efficacy of how they have dealt with the issues of their mandate. I would stop there for now, Chair. Thank you.
Thanks, honorable members, for your insights. But as already indicated, honorable members, the report is not up for debate. The points that you're raising are debating issues. But may I suggest, so that we do not have to go back and forth, that I'm sure all these areas that you have raised have gone into record, and that I would suggest that the approach we adopt is that the content advisor, together with the committee secretary, pull together all the points that have been made by honorable members, and so that when we go into the discussion of the report, where we already agree with those points, we just formalize them in the meeting of debate. And where we don't agree, then we put those aside, so that we don't have to restart again the points that that are very valuable in terms of taking forward and shaping the legacy report that you have made. Yeah, that's why, your honorable members, I did not stop you because you were not asking questions for clarity. You were, in fact, engaging and making quite substantive points that can be thrown out, but they need to be incorporated. Can we agree on that approach, honorable members?
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Thanks, honorable members. Any announcements, Mr. Sakaza?
Honorable Chair, not at this moment, except that we will be drafting a program for the 2024, which will also include some of when are we going to do a second draft of the PWR and other meetings. Chair, thank you, Chair. That's all.
Okay. Thanks,
Honorable Chair. Honorable
yes.
Chair, Michael Bagram again. We send our love to our chair, and hopefully she's getting stronger every day.
Yes, indeed. I spoke to her again yesterday, and she's fine. She'll still be off until early next year, but she's fine now. She's home, and as I've said, Honorable Bagram, that honorable members should feel free to just put a call and say hi, and send well wishes to her. Otherwise, she's really fine and back home. Yeah, thanks, Honorable Bagram. Honorable members, I think we come to the end of the meeting for today on the understanding with regard to the issues that we have raised, and also the further announcements that have been made by Mr. Sakaza that we should note, so that when we come back for actual engagement in the report, we don't have to start from scratch, because already you have put quite substantive matters on the table, and which I personally think they need to, where we agree, be incorporated, including how the report should be shaped. The points that have been raised by Honorable Dabe are very much important, particularly when we have a reflection of how the framework looked like, and which areas that we have succeeded on, and which areas have been left behind, that have fallen through the cracks, so that when we present the overall legacy report, we don't have gaps or areas where we could not be able to give a proper account. And in that regard, honorable members, let me thank you for making yourselves available, and the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. Thanks.